¿Qué pasa, mi gente? Welcome to Think and Lose Weight, where we talk about and discuss how anyone can lose the weight they want, but only if they have the right mindset, which means being committed to discipline, developing good habits, and making the right choices. If you're new here, I want to say thank you for joining me. And if you're a subscriber, I want to say that you are awesome for doing so. If you have not done so, please hit the subscribe button on the right and then the little bell also so you can get notified when I upload my weekly videos. Also hit the like button since it helps the channel grow and allows me to spread the word about how to effectively lose weight and keep it off without all the bullshit. So, what is the most effective way to lose fat? It amazes me how people fall for gimmicks and scams that promise you to lose a massive amount of fat in a short period of time. I'm always going to say to you that you did not gain the weight in 1 month, so don't expect to lose it in 1 month. It is easier to gain the weight than to lose it, but I'm not telling you anything new. I'm not saying anything that you don't already know. To gain the weight, you don't have to do anything but eat and just not move around. Watch lots of television, or surf social media. That is the foundation, the groundwork for successfully gaining weight. Now, I know some people have a medical condition that affect their weight. I get that. The thing is that by not being mobile, sitting on the couch or lying in bed watching television or surfing social media, you're making the condition that you have even worse. There are always options. Now, we are inherently lazy, okay? I don't mean that in a bad way, but it is a fact. We as humans don't like to do things that cause us pain. I don't mean pain like in the sense of getting hurt. Of course, no one wants to get hurt and no one should get hurt. But I'm talking about doing the things that make us uncomfortable and the things that go against what we are inclined to do naturally. For example, if you had a choice of fasting for 16 hours and eating 4 chocolate chip cookies, which one of those two choices would you think would be more fun and be more appealing to you? If you had the choice of watching the latest blockbuster movie in the movie theater with some popcorn and some soda, or going for a 6-mile run in a 100-degree heat, which one do you think your brain would be more inclined to choose? Yeah, that movie sounds pretty good about now, right? So you see, that's what I mean about us being naturally lazy and being naturally inclined to do that which is easier to do. Think of the Tom and Jerry cartoons where they would have the devil on one shoulder and then the angel on the other shoulder. You know, we make decisions like that hundreds of times every day. It is those little decisions that will dictate whether we are successful in losing the weight or not. And of course, keeping it off. I'm talking about those little decisions that you make. Oh, well, it's just one chocolate chip cookie or it's just one little candy bar. That's what I'm talking about. Those small decisions in the future will add up to some big failures. Now, stay with me till the end because I will tell you what has worked for me and what has allowed me to keep the weight off. If you have been here for a while, or if you know me, you know that at one point I was overweight. My cholesterol levels were like super high. I had a 36-inch plus waist. And well, I was fat. Funny thing is, those close to me never told me that I was fat. I am sure they probably talked about it behind my back. You know, them saying, oh my God, Luis, he has gained some weight, hasn't he? I mean, it happens. Your friends and those you love will most likely never tell you the truth because, well, they love you and they don't want to hurt your feelings. Now, they would most likely tell you the truth about everything else because they're your friends. But when it comes to weight, if you are overweight, I don't think your friends would tell you because they love you, and being overweight, it's something very sensitive. Some people get really, really hurt when somebody mentions that about them. They're not really accepting their responsibility and facing the facts, okay? You, or should I say I was in denial. I knew I had gained weight, but I didn't want to admit it. I didn't want to admit that I was fat. I think we all deny it. And as time goes on, we tend to hold on to those pants that fit us really, really tight, you know, and And sometimes what we say to ourselves is, well, you know what? I just took them out of the dryer. That's why they are tight. But I'll loosen them up, and you still try to get inside those pants, you know? Some people, what they do is they take those selfies from a really high angle. You know, sometimes, like, have you seen people do this? It's like they take a selfie from like the second story of a building just to get the right angle and, you know, to make themselves look thinner. That's pretty disturbing stuff. But anyhow, you get where I'm going with this. I was 50 pounds heavier than where I am now. I didn't feel good about myself. I was sluggish every single morning when I woke up. If you have ever gone through this, or if you're going through this, then you know what I'm talking about. And I want you to know that there is a way out. There is a way for you to get back to where you used to be, or to get to the weight you want to be, so you can feel good about yourself again and get the self-esteem you need in order to be successful in all aspects of your life. When you're able to get your weight under control, when you're able to get in tune with your body and allow your body to do what it is intended to do, you will succeed at anything you do. You will be successful because you will have the confidence you need to just not allow anything to get in your way. Folks, weight gain, next to financial problems, is probably one of the biggest challenges we face as Americans in this country and in a lot of parts of the world. It has a detrimental effect on everything else in our lives. First of all, our health, of course, our family life, our social life. And that is because of what is happening in our minds, how we feel about ourselves. No one wants to be overweight. People don't choose to be overweight. I used to think different about that. I used to think that people were just overweight because they ate a lot. Well, the thing is that most of the time people don't really realize what is inside the foods that they eat, and that is what's causing them to gain weight and to have all these other medical problems. It's like before GPS was created and you walk into a forest. You try to get somewhere and you get a little lost, but instead of turning back, you keep going hoping that you find where you want to go. But unfortunately, you're getting deeper and deeper into the forest, and you don't realize you're in fact lost until it is too late and you can't find your way back. That is in fact what happens to most of us. It is what happened to me. So what happens is that at some point we realize we are lost. We have gained a lot of weight and we try to backtrack and find out how we can back to being thin, how we used to be. What most of us do is listen to coworkers about their new diet program and how it really worked for them. So we start getting on a diet. For example, have you ever watched the documentary Sick, Fat, and Nearly Dead? A lot of people watch the documentary. I did it. And the first thing they do, they go to Amazon and they buy, one of those juicer machines. You then go to the market and you buy tons of fruits and vegetables. You grab a bunch of recipes and you start making these delicious juices. Problem is that a week or two later, nothing is happening. In fact, you probably have gained a little bit of weight. Well, the problem is you're taking in a lot of sugar. Oh, but Luis, this is a complex carbohydrate, and fruits are good for you. Well, that's half true. You're taking in the healthy juice from the fruit, but you are not consuming the fiber. So what happens is that you're taking in an enormous amount of sugar. You would be better off just eating the fruits, because when you make these juices with the juicer, you put in about 2 or 3 apples, you put in about 2 or 3 oranges, maybe some, a whole bunch of... So in the end, you have about 7 or 8 fruits that you put in there. And the juice is extracted, but the pulp, when you open up the machine, you see all that pulp in there, that's the fiber. And the beautiful thing about nature is that fruits have fiber in order to counterbalance all the sugar that's in it. So when you take in all that sugar, even though it is a complex carbohydrate, you're not taking in the fiber. So what's going to happen? You're going to gain weight. If you ate the fruit by itself, most of us can only eat about maybe 1 or 2 pieces of fruit at a time. We can't eat 6 or 7 pieces of fruit. It's not natural for us to do that. So in order to lose weight, in order to allow your body to do what it is meant to do, you have to only eat whole, non-processed foods. When you eat whole, non-processed foods, it reduces inflammation. Your body's own white blood cells are then able to effectively fight off any disease, so you get sick less or not sick at all. I have not been sick in about 2 years, not even a slight cold. You see, when we eat processed foods, we're putting something into our bodies that is not natural. So our bodies identify these foods as a foreign invader, much like a disease, and then the white blood cells go to work in an attempt to fight off the disease. This causes inflammation, and so we are basically overwhelming our immune systems every single day. Once you start to eat whole, non-processed foods, you will start to see changes in ways that you can't imagine. You will need to eat less food because you will naturally not be as hungry. Processed foods don't keep your hunger satisfied. As a matter of fact, when you eat processed foods, especially those that contain high fructose corn syrup, pretty much 80% of the food in the supermarket contains some type of high fructose corn syrup. That chemical right there has the ability to not allow your brain to communicate that you are full. That message that tells your brain, hey, stop eating, we are full, does not get through, so we just keep eating. That's the problem with high fructose corn syrup, and it's pretty much in everything. When you eat whole, non-processed foods, that signal telling your brain that you are full starts to work properly. So you need to eat less and you will not be as hungry. There are many other things that are things that you can do to help you lose weight. But the first one and the most important one of all is to stop eating processed foods and start eating whole foods. Do this and you will be shocked at the changes you will see within a short period of time. Please don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button and the notification bell. I will always bring you the truth about losing weight without all the bullshit and without trying to sell you something like most of other channels here, guys. I care about you and I want you to be successful. Also, write some comments below and let me know what you thought of the video. See you next week. Dale!